Welcome back to Industrialcraft. Yeah, this almost looks like some sort of central base. It wasn't really intended to be like this, but with the the red power stuff, the mining lasers, and all the terraformer blueprints going everywhere, I think it's going to be a pretty good place. So what I want to do now is I want to talk about a few things. I'm going to talk about mine laser, induction furnace, macerator combo, looking at the MFSU, glass fiber cables, maybe even some iron pipes. So I'm going to build a new place next to one of the other ones, and yeah, that's it. Okay, so yeah, let's start with the mining laser. Got 200,000 EU. Let's see what it does. The noise doesn't seem to work. Oh well. I get the feeling you have to change it with M, but unfortunately this is set to M. Such is life. Try and remember. I think G might not be alright. It doesn't like it. Oh well. Yeah, that seems to overwrite everything. Well, there's things you don't even know what to put here. Mode switch, you'd think. Yeah, so this is the mining laser. Unfortunately though, my M key is taken up by this. So I'll just change it. It's not gonna like any letter though, is it? What was that up? Press number 8. Numlock. To be honest, it doesn't make much difference to me. Oh, here we are. So as you can see with this thing, there's shitloads of stuff you can do with it. Let's go for mining mode first of all. And that seems to do about how many? Not many. Probably about three and four blocks. What was it? Right. Yeah. Low focus. One at a time. Can also destroy these things. Then we have long range. So yeah, that does. If we do a long range at short range, doesn't seem. It's probably more powerful actually at long range, you would imagine. Horizontal. There we go. It just zooms off in the line. Got 200,000 EU. You can see sort of a mid-tier thing. I wonder if we get an MFE out, what we can do with it. Doesn't seem to want to work. Can you put a backpack in here? I keep forgetting. We may as well charge this thing up. Lap pack. I think the ultimate lap pack is from yeah, you see these ones, they're not the same, they're misc. Maybe if we could just put the lap pack straight in there, that'll be more useful. Yeah, that goes in fine. How about the ultimate lap pack? That's quite a ticket, isn't it? Alright, well now I'm charging my MFE. What about the MFSU I'm about to build? Okay. That charges phenomenally quickly, doesn't it? Alright, anyway. Mining laser. Scatter. Let's see if we can decimate this tree here. Alright, scatter seems to be a fucking mess. And that's what I just created. So I don't think scatter is useful for anything. I don't know why. I'm not really sure how that. The only good time probably is if you're strip mining, like diamond level or something. It might be useful then, because then you would be able to see the different faces of a very high number of blocks. But I can't think of any other possible use for that. No, you select it. Explosive. Let's try it down here. Bosh. So it absolutely destroys quite a large area. So there's that. Then are we through them all? Mining, low focus, long range, horizontal, superheat, scatter. How did I miss that? Mining is just a regular one. Yeah. Low focus, long range, superheat. Doesn't look very. Looks a bit like low focus to me. It doesn't look that different from this, does it? Not really. So yeah, there's that mining laser. So what we got here anyway, we've got tell you what, they do look nice, these things. Now what if we wanted to connect this thing, the MFSU to the MFE? The MFSU I haven't even talked about it yet. It's got 10 million power and the output is 512 EU per tick. And when you do, when I do nuclear control, I'm not going to actually bother with with this glass fiber. I'll probably want to use because if you look at it was actually 30,184. It's very high actually. But you can see you've got copper cable, uninsulated, gold, insulated, double. And you also got this high voltage cable. I can't remember if that's 1024 and 2048, but I think it's useful for nuclear reactors. And you can also insulate that seriously. I can't actually remember what these two EU detector cable and EU splitter cable. I think there's something like that in universal electricity. And maybe I can somehow output the readings to an information panel or something. Anyway, we're not going to get into the nuclear items. Funnily enough, mining laser is actually covered in the nuclear items. There's also a couple of jetpacks, which we haven't spoken about yet, and then some of the. Oh yeah, that's a point. Another thing you can do. These energy crystal and Lapotron crystal. I wouldn't mind just checking this out. Always be in survival. Always be in survival. So if we look at the energy crystal, now we can do this. You need a diamond and you get an energy crystal. And the energy crystal, as you can see, has got 100,000 EU, so it takes, so you can fill up a MFE with 6 of them, or well, yeah, 100 of them for MFSU. But I think you probably, I don't even know if that works. Let's see if we can get some power from it. So yeah, we just put in a slot to retrieve the power. The Lapotron though is much more powerful. It's got, I think it's 600,000. Let's see if I'm right. No, it's 1 million. So we want to charge that up. That is going to take 1 million. It seems to be going in not that fast. It wasn't like what I just did earlier. Fucking hell, that out of that pack. But that was charging in. I'm not sure if this can actually take. It probably can take higher than 512. But anyway, I'm not going to go higher than that. At least not yet. I'm sure. To be honest, I'm very sure I'm going to go higher than that. But you know, it won't be today anyway. So this one's for engines, and this one's for yeah. What the fuck is this? Yeah, that's toot. MFSU and a wrench equals an MFS unit upgrade. You remember if you click the little thing there. And that comes in the stack size is 4 for some strange reason. Wait a minute, this is so odd. I'm kind of going a bit off the point here, but I've never seen this before. Let me just see what is actually in this thing. You put the MFSU in there, do you? Or what, the MFE? What the fuck is that, man? Seriously? Well, we're going to find out what that is next episode. I mean, I could look it up now, I could just come back, but I don't want to. So yeah, what we want to do is we want to think like, if we remember what we used to say, said, you know, we get the MFE, it's got 100, it's got 200, you can output 128 EU per tick. So if we want to get to the low voltage transformer, we need the gold cable, which is 128 EU per tick max, and then we transfer it to the transformer. So let's think about it. Let's think about going all the way from one to the other. And that's what we're going to do. So the MFE, so the best thing to do here is it's useful to use the energy crystals and the Lapotron crystals to charge this stuff up. Obviously got a fucking Alma lap pack, you're laughing though. But it's by the by really. So we want to connect this. We could use glass fibre. I could try the high voltage, I'm sure they'll work as well. But yeah. So this is going to be an energy transmitter. Alright, so yeah. So just get it out. Alright. I just want to use this once. There we go. Alright, so anyway. As you can see, it blew up. And the reason it blew up is because there was no transformer. So it was sending a 512 signal. I mean, it's fine going in the cable. The cable's not going to blow up. But unfortunately, this time we need the MV transformer. And this can take it. And we can see that's going into the wrong side. No, it's not. So you can see it's inputting in there. Now you can actually, I'm pretty sure you can just do it straight out again. So we put our MFE there. See, and it takes it no problem. But it isn't really very you know, doesn't really tell you anything. Realistically, what you actually really want to do is let's get some bad boy high voltage cable. Forget about this. This is how you really want to connect it. I mean, you can do it like that with a glass fiber, but it's a bit. This is how you really want to be doing it. You know, I mean. You know, I mean, that is honestly the way I see to do it. Oh, it's not called a detector, it's a reader, isn't it? Yeah, that is the output face. It doesn't even want to work with that. That is so shit. Because I've just filled it up already, or what? Oh, I have. Damn, I did it too slow. Alright, let me just drain it. That just kills it. But now let's look at the EV reader. Look here. That's just blown my fucking mind. They're both at 512. Well, that is not supposed to happen. That should blow up. I mean, how is that converting it? If that's a medium voltage, it's supposed to convert high voltage, which is supposedly 512, to medium, which is supposedly 128, and it's still going through that pipe at 512. I mean, what happens if we do this? Forget about that. I've already got 3. I don't know how many you're going to bloody need. Alright, so it can actually take 512. But this is doing nothing then. That is fucking weird. What if I put another MFE here? Alright, so basically it can take in 512 but it can only output 128. But yet, this is what doesn't make sense. If we can take 512, that shouldn't blow up. I mean, what is different about this 512 that it's taking? Oh yeah, that's another thing I wanted to do as well. You see, this really does not make sense, and that is a shame. This should not be 512 here. I'm convinced that I don't see how a medium voltage can output, every transformer can output at that high. It means it's not doing anything, but yet if you use it without it, maybe I'm just missing something really simple, but it doesn't. That does not seem to make sense. Okay, so what I want to do actually is I'm probably going to end it here, but there is one final thing I want to do. Next time on this series, I'm going to be continuing on with Industrialcraft probably for quite a while, to be honest. Next time I'm going to want to look at I want to do, look at how fast the induction furnace and macerator, how they work together, and I believe you can put a lever in front of the induction furnace. But one thing we can say is that what is going on there? Alright, this is not what I'm looking for. So what I thought, basically, if it really is taking in 512 EU tick, it means it's taking in about 10,000 a second. If it's not, it's taking in about 10,000 every 4 seconds. So it shouldn't really be that hard to tell. So yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this is taking in 512. So basically, what we can tell is that the MFE, as much as I didn't actually think it was true, it can actually accept an input of 512. However, it can't accept a direct input of 512. It somehow, because you know you can see it, it's cold as day, this is the case. It must have changed recently. So, but as you can see, that is 512 going in there. Now, from what I can tell, it's only the input that's affected. If I so it's not carrying on. So this one, if we look at how that's filling up, it's going to be, you see, every 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. You see, that's definitely 128, and this is definitely 1, 2, 3, 4. This is definitely 512, and that is an MFE. So yeah, the MFE can actually take in 512 as long as it's not directly powered, and it has a transformer. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that somehow it's somehow just pushing in the packets at a faster rate, and that this EU reader is actually incorrect, and it needs to be somehow upgraded. But like I say, I mean, well, that's not going to work. I suppose we could see how it's getting it from here, because this one's full as well. Oh no, well, that's not on the output phase. You know what, forget about that. But the point is, yeah, I mean, that's something very useful to know. The MFE can actually take in, you know, 512. I mean, who would have thought that? Not me. I almost wonder now, if we carry on the line here, if the bat box is able to, I mean, by the same logic, you would think the bat box would be able to take in 128, and if that's the case, then that will fill up by 10,000 every 4 seconds, so it should be full in about 16 seconds. Whereas otherwise it will take, you know, 64 seconds or so. So, but you see, you can't actually connect this cable to that. Oh no, you might be, actually, maybe you can. Sorry, of course you can. That's not the output face. Let me put it to the output face here. No, shit. Let's just get this MFE. Output face is now there. Let's put a bat box back. Make sure that's not like that. So that's outputting. How's this one doing? It's got nothing. Let's put the output face. Okay. That's blown up already. Well, whatever is happening, I don't think it extends to the bat box. And this glass, I think the glass fiber is only between 128 and 512. But yeah, I mean, like I say, I mean, the MFE can take in 512 and leave at 1 and the output at 128. So I'm going to be doing some different things next time. but it's interesting. This I'm going to expand on what I've learned here, because it's yeah, it's pretty interesting. All right, that's it for now. Okay, so I wanted to actually clean this up before I finish. I've actually worked out what's going on here. I haven't worked. I've looked up what's going on. Basically, even though this EU reader is coming out with 512, what is actually going on is that the MV transformer is converting it into 128 4 times 128 packets. So it's actually a distinction between EU per tick and EU packets. So actually we're dealing with packets here. So I may as well. So yeah, so this figure of 512 is actually to do with packets. That actually is, there is 512 going into it per tick, but it's coming every tick in 4 by 128 packets. So that is actually what's going on. Whereas when I didn't use this, the reason it exploded because there was 1 times 512 packet coming out of the MFSU, which was not, and the packet size was too large to take in. But so it was able to take in the 4. I mean, to be honest, I mean, I could have worked that out really. It does make sense. So what I'm going to be doing, yeah, I'm definitely going to look at this issue of EU packets, because there's also conversion rates from. Some of these people mentioned something about a quantum generator, but that may not be. Because the problem is there's a lot more. Why is so much stuff coming up? Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean there's a lot more stuff really to do. And it's always a shame that electricity mod doesn't have a thing for it. But yeah, like I say, I mean that's basically is a good way to conclude it, just by actually working out what is actually going on here, and the way that and you see that the cable acts differently, because even though it can take the 1 by 512, it can also take the 4 by 128. I mean, that is so funny though. I mean, it's not that funny when I think about it. It's kind of how you would think. It does go in packets, so it does lead to further questions regarding the distribution to machines in a larger scale system. But we'll have to save that for another time.